Welcome to the KLM Experience, where we turn travel and entertainment into memories.
Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Linnell, and I am a travel agent for a company that I started called AMuseing Travel. I am here excited to talk to you and share with you about my Disney cruise, the most recent one I went on the Disney Dream. So I'm going to go by day. So if you're like trying to figure out what a 4-day cruise looks like, this is what it's going to look like. So I'm going to go day by day and talk about just some of the things that I did and some of the things that I didn't do that maybe you could check out on your cruise. So if you are ready to do that, you can do that. Don't forget, you can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, on TikTok, things like that. And you can also check out the website, theklmexperience.com. I'm also working on a new website, one that can be a little bit more direct, but so keep an eye out for that. And the way you can do that is if you follow me on those before mentioned things, so you can do that. So, well, let's dive right into day one on board the Disney Dream. But first, we got to get there, right? So, and we're going to start with our travel on the way to the Disney Dream. All right, here we go. All right, well, today is our embarkation day, and I am leaving my hotel from, we're sailing off in Fort Lauderdale, so this is my first time doing that. This is my driver, David, there. The lady at the front desk hooked me up with David, so it was a very easy shuttle. She had a card. It was like $15, I think, or $25 is what it would cost to shuttle from my hotel to the port, Fort Lauderdale. So it was about a 10-15 minute drive, not long at all. If you've ever sailed out of Port Canaveral, you know that's like a 45-minute drive. This is not the case for Fort Lauderdale. So it's a really short drive, like I said, 15-20 minutes tops, and you are there. So when I left for Royal Caribbean, some of my group came early, right? Some of us, our time was 12:30. The rest of us, our group time was like 2:30. So I was like, oh, they let us all on. Well, Disney did not do that. So that first time through, my scheduled time was for 2:30. I showed up at 12, and they literally made me wait that entire time. So if you think you're going to get on early, don't count on it. I'm not saying don't try. If you want to try, you can try. But if you do try, just expect to wait. So that's my advice. So this is me. I probably sat outside for about an hour and a half. Talked to another fellow travel agent who was there too. So, but once our group was called, we got through and still had to sit another 20, maybe more like 40 minutes actually. So because my group number was like 25 or something. So as you can see, there's a little line over there against the wall. But eventually my line was called. So there's a little cute jingle to let you know that your group is up. So I was traveling solo. So this line that you just saw was the line for pictures. If you want to take a picture in front of the Disney backdrop, I decided not to. So I just skipped the line. And so the lovely attendant let me right through, took the escalator and hopped on up and took the escalator up to the gangway. Man, this was not a long process getting on and off the ship, so it was pretty simple. So I haven't talked about it, but I am sailing on the Disney Dream out of Fort Lauderdale. And the Dream was built in 2011, if I'm not mistaken. There was another ship that's built very similarly, the Fantasy. The Disney Dream was just refurbished in 2024. So if you've been on it recently, well, in the last 3-4 years, you probably experienced an older ship or a different ship. So, all right, the biggest thing that everyone talks about when you enter into the gangway there, they announce your party. They welcome you over the mic, so that's always cool. Deck 3, you see this is where the Walt Disney Theater is. So you come in, when you enter the ship, you're on deck 3. Walt Disney Theater is where all of the shows are going to be. So if you're on the ship and you want to know where the ship is, you can always look right here. These little maps that are pretty much in every stairwell right around the entrance. My room wasn't ready, and so I decided to do a little ship tour that they were offering of Census Spa. And let me tell you, this was probably my favorite spot. This was the surprise of the surprise for me. Going on into the spa, it is a beautiful spot. I loved it. I didn't do any of that stuff. You saw the barber shop and the mani-pedi area. And then, so I didn't go on that side at all other than the tour here. This is the complimentary gym. So this is able for you to come in here whenever it's open. If I'm not mistaken, the gym opens. I can't. I'm not going to pretend to know when the gym opens, but I'll put it on here when I find out. But I know the spa area opens at 9. So, all right. Rainforest is honestly the main reason I love this place. You've got the Rainforest. This is an add-on. This is one of my pointers from this video that I'm going to link in here that you should make sure you check out. Just make sure you book things before you get on the cruise, okay? So like this Rainforest room cost me a little bit more because I booked on the ship rather than in advance. So, but Rainforest offers like 4 different simulated showers, like thunderstorms, waterfall, things like that. That's what those little colorful walls are. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 saunas. 3 saunas that are in that open general space, and then there's actually a sauna in the locker rooms. Those chairs right there are heated chairs, so you can get a robe when you walk in. You just ask for a robe. There's a towel wall all over the place, so towels, robes available. And then they have these 2 jacuzzis that are right there, so you can get into those anytime you want. That census is open. So this is a very speedy walkthrough. This is I think we're on deck 12 right now. Yep, I walked up to 12. This is me walking up to 13. All of this stuff back here is adult only. So if you ever were wondering, oh, is Disney for adults? Yes, it is. That little area right there was the smoking section. So I'll dive more into it on other days. But so I went down to deck 11. That is a Frozone little bar area. They open frozen drinks, some with alcohol that you can get. Then I went down to my room because I was told, I was given a card that said when my room would be available. So I decided to head on down to my room on the 8th floor. And as you can see, my bag is not there yet, but my room was ready. This is a veranda room. So, which means that's Disney's way of saying balcony, as you can see here. So yeah, it is a room with a joint room, so there's a door, so you can have adjoining rooms if you want multiple groups, multiple cabins. You can do it that way. I did not go through my room tour, but I do have a link. You can go check out this video right here. That'll get you to my room tour. All right. This is one of those optional quick service spaces where you can just walk up and say, I want some pizza or something like that. Right to the right of this space, there's one for like burrito bowls. This on the Dream, they have burritos and tacos. Burrito bowls, not burritos. Burrito bowls and tacos, where you can get that. So here's those spots right here. Again, this is the Mater Grill there. That's where you can get like the burgers and things like that. That's the burrito bowl section right there. You can check that out. Yeah. Cantina, yeah, tacos and bowls. So there's this is something that is new from the remodel that they did when they did that. Disney does not charge for pop and tea and coffee, so you can bring your own cup. and fill it up. And I'll show you some of that later. Cabanas is the buffet area on the Disney Dream. You can, again, buffets, you know how buffets go. They're pretty simple. Pretty much anything you need, they have it. They're grouped off. So like if you got the subs, or you want fried food, or you want seafood, things like that. So they're labeled there. On the other side, day one, they usually have some type of, extreme seafood, like got crab, lobster claws there. They got shrimp, so you can dig in there. One of the cool things that I really like is the clocks that they have. So they have clocks at every Disneyland park. So whether you're in California, you came from that side, or from the Florida side, or they even have the Paris one in there and all of that as well. So if you're interested and want to go to one of the parks, hit me up that way too. I can definitely help you out with planning your park vacation as well. So Cabanas is huge. It is expands all the way across the 11th floor. And it's double-sided, so everything you see on this side, it's actually on the other side of the ship as well. So that's a really cool thing. This is me just sampling all the meats. Now, if you're a first-time cruiser, every cruise you have to do a muster drill, which is just a safety lesson that every cruise ship must do by law. Mine just happened to be in the Buena Vista Theater, but most people would watch the cast members show you how to put your life vest on, so they'd just be watching. All right, then I headed out to the sail away party, which was on deck 11 and 12. This is the first chance where your family will be able to see some Disney characters. So you see the huge screen right there, and the cast members who are there dancing and have a show. I didn't put the audio, but it's fine, you get it. So there's the dogs, and here comes Mickey and Minnie, Captain Mickey and Minnie. So whenever people mention the captain, don't think you're going to see the real captain. This is who you're going to see. Parents, hate to break it to you, I was expecting the real captain at one point, and I was sadly informed that was not the case. So sail away party is still going on, so I was like, oh, it's a good time to just walk around and check out some things. Again, I'm on deck 12 now. And this is kind of like a family space on deck 12. You can see it says family. Down on deck 11 is 18 and up. I kind of might have mentioned earlier that 12 is only for adults. It's not necessarily. There are some areas that are, but most of it is for anyone, for a family. 13 is adults only. 11 is adults only. 12 has some space for kids as well. All right, now headed back to the Walt Disney Theater for the first of the 3 shows. Disney does not do traditional buffet, and I'll explain that a little more, but there's 2 dinner slots. There's an early and a late. I was a late dinner slot, which means during the early slot, I would go to a show. And for night 1, it was the Golden Mickeys. And then after the show is over, I go to my dinner. Disney Cruise Line, again, does not do buffets on dinner. So the Cabanas is actually closed for dinner. You have 3 options. You can do room service. You can do the grab and goes like the pizza, the burrito bowls, or you can go to the scheduled dinner at one of the 3 dining rooms. So here we are at Enchanted Garden on deck 2. Another cool thing is that Disney actually groups you at a table with people who are similar to you. So for me, being a solo traveler, everyone at my table was a solo traveler. And not only that, you also travel with the same wait staff. So every one of your dinner experiences, if you go to one of the dining rooms, you will see the same people and the same staff, which is really cool. After dinner, I walked up to the lobby and heard some beautiful music. I actually requested a song, and this lovely lady played it for me. So here's a little listen to that. Yeah, and she was really awesome. So we saw her a bunch of other times that night and that throughout the whole trip. I keep saying we because I'm thinking of all my lovely friends that I met at table 127. Here's a little shot of the grand lobby here. The grand lobby goes up 3 floors, so 3, 4, and 5 there. So as you can see. So yeah, that was my first night on the Disney Dream. It was very exciting, very cool. Cool to meet a lot of great people. I mean, for me, that's one of the coolest things that Disney does is they offer opportunities for you to not just go on a trip, but also make friends. You know, this is my second Disney cruise, which puts me in the Castaway Club, which I'll tell you about another time. I think I did a video for that, so I'll tag that in here too. But you get to meet new people. My first cruise on the Disney Wish, which me and my wife ended up sitting with 2 people who were also there by themselves. We don't have kids. They didn't have kids. They were also a couple, and we were all our first time cruising. So I text them every once in a while, just check in, see if they got a cruise coming up. So just friends that I can continue to keep in touch with. Same thing for the trip from this one here. Just shout out to table 127, baby. Yeah. So that's pretty much the end of day 1. Day 2 was in Nassau, and I will dive right into that. So let's check out day 2. Here we go. All right. It is a bright and early morning on day 2 on the Disney Dream. I couldn't sleep very well, so I decided to get up and head on up. It's actually supposed to be some type of lunar moon or something like that. So I just decided to get up and go out before the moon went away. So I went up to deck 11. On deck 11 is where those free beverages that we talked about. This is where they are. See Coke, Diet Coke. You can use their cup or you can bring your own, which I did on day 1. So you can that's accessible at any time of day. No drink packages on Disney. Every adult beverage or specialty coffee is a la carte. So you can just purchase it, put it on your room. Here's some of the towel designs that they did there. So then I decided after I saw the sunrise, I have a video of that. I'll show you that later. And then I decided to go to Cove Cafe, which is on deck 11 again. It is an adult-only bar area. So this is where you can come in the morning and get specialty coffees or a cocktail if you guess. I don't know if they have a time limit on that. So say 5 o'clock somewhere. Here's a little shot of their menu where you can order depending on the time of day it is. Here's some of the pastries. I heard that they were free. I didn't even try to get one because I thought for sure you would have to pay. That's what I heard someone else say, but I did not test it in time. Now I know you got to pay for them kombuchas and stuff like that, and you have to pay for the lattes and things like that. They also give you a little stamp card. Cool when they do the characters there. They give you a stamp card where you can, on your 6th coffee beverage, it is free. So I'm back at Cabanas. Again, this is the buffet area. This is breakfast at Cabanas. French toast. Yes. I love French toast, so it was good. That was us getting into the Nassau port. And here again, pretty early, so people actually might be off the ship already, but that was deck 11. They show movies on that screen. This is the Enchanted Garden again. This is, as you see, there's no one in here. This is right before I left for my excursion. This is where my excursion happened to meet. So I decided to take some shots and so you can see what the room looks like, not full of people and all of that. So yeah, looks kind of cool. All right, and now that I was in Nassau, I decided to go on an excursion to Atlantis. Yes, if you don't know about Atlantis, it's that big old pink building over there. If you've ever been to Nassau and wondered what it was, that's what it is. It's a huge resort, but one of its main attractions is a water park. So Disney partners with them, and you can order your excursion with Disney, and Disney will provide transportation to and from Atlantis. As you can see, it is ginormous. That image does not do it justice. I walked maybe 4 miles during that time, just back and forth. It is a very bougie place. In order to get to the water park, you had to walk through this mall, which I probably couldn't afford to walk through. It was so many boutiques that were very fancy. You have to walk through the casino and everything. So if you're a casino person, there's no casino on Disney ship. So if you got that itch, maybe you take a excursion to Atlantis and you can play there. There you go. If you do book with me through AMuseing Travel, I have other options for shore excursions as well. So I can definitely send you links for that. It's a long walk from the entrance to the back. Atlantis does have plenty of restaurants. I like Top Chef. The next weekend there was like a Top Chef conference going to be there. So a lot of people from Top Chef are on that flyer that you saw there. Plenty of eateries and things like that. Finally outside, which means I'm close. Atlantis was a little pricey as far as even getting there. The excursion was pricey, but food was even more pricey. So suggestion is to eat on board the ship before, and then when you go back, eat. So if you can avoid eating, I would. Adventure Beach is the name of the resort. Is the water park there. They were feeding some stingrays. And here we are. Now, Atlantis has a lot of water slides, which I think only show you one of them, but I did my share. That is a slide that actually goes through the shark tank. I did that one. That one was pretty cool. The one that's a little slower and on a tube where you can actually see the sharks, that one was down that day. But Atlantis is huge, plenty of pools, plenty of lounge space, so don't feel like you have to for me, my goal was to do as much as I could so I could tell you guys about it. So I rode 5 water slides. Some of them were, all of them were pretty exciting. The first one I did was really slow, but I did 5. Atlantis is a place that you can book all on your own. Not all on your own, but you don't have to go as an excursion. It is a full functioning resort. So if you're interested in just staying at Atlantis, you can hit me up as well. Here's me going down one of the slides there. So pretty cool. And now we're headed back to the to the port, or pier. I don't know. One of those words. There's a view from the outside of the Dream there. And then when you get back on the ship, they give you a nice ice water so you can grab a little cup there, refresh yourself. And also they give you a nice cool towel to kind of wash your hands off, rinse your face off. Got any sand on you? And then I decided to try room service for the first time, fries and buffalo wings, and of course the Mickey ice cream bar. Deck 13 aft is where you can find Goofy Sports. This is open for all ages. This is where you can do your complimentary mini golf. The wind was blowing like crazy, so I don't know how many people were out there playing. And then down on deck 12 is the Meridian Bar, 18 and up space. You can see it says welcome right there. That is engraved in all, and there's different languages across the whole bar. I ordered a drink, just tapped my room key. That is a dried pineapple. Yeah. And you got some complimentary nuts and grapes and stuff. Vanellope's candy shop, that is right inside of Cabanas on deck 11. As you can see right there, you can go and check out that place. This is you got to pay for everything in here, so this is not included. Just pretty, got some gelatos, some really high-end pastries, things like that, where you can do that. There's the gelato right there. Oh yeah. And then this is some of table 127. This is night 2, which is pirate night. So that's where the bandanas are coming into play. One of our table mates got a free drink that was non-alcoholic. It was very good. So on pirate night, you usually eat the same place that you ate the night before, but the menu is more pirate themed. So like there was like a rack of lamb, things like that. So you'll find that. Disney is the only cruise ship that does fireworks. So that's why everyone is out ready to go. Missy was having a blast. So this is where the fireworks are. Disney, again, is the only cruise line that's allowed to do fireworks on the ocean. So if you're ever looking for an exclusive, here is some of that right there. Now, this is my second pirate night. On the Wish, I thought it was a little bit better because on the Wish, they had live music. So that was pretty exciting. It was like a live band that was synced up to the fireworks. Pirate theme, meaning, Pirates of the Caribbean was the music they played. Here on the Dream, fireworks were great. It was a recording, so not as exciting to me as it was on the Wish, but exciting nonetheless. The fireworks and pirate night are on cruises that are 4 nights or more. So if you book a 3-night cruise, there's no guarantee. I'm even going to go out on the limb and say that there is no pirate night. I know for sure there's no pirate night. There may not be fireworks either. So if you want the experience of fireworks, you need to book at least a 4-night cruise. So make sure you keep that in mind as you are thinking about booking with AMuseing Travel. Missy loves the fireworks. She was definitely the highlight of the night. She had a blast. Shout out to you, Missy. Table 127 right there. I do a little interview with Missy. You can check that out. There's a couple of those on my YouTube page. I'll tag them up in this video as well. And this is the grand finale here. And then we have a dance party. So back down on deck 11, there's some cast members and they're just rocking it out, dancing, having a good old time. As I mentioned, Missy did. Got the whole ship involved. There's, had a little dance circle there. A lot of the kids were brave enough to do it, so that was really cool of them. Yeah, so we danced the night away and had a good old time on night 2 in Nassau. So at the end of that, usually next would be, depending on your cruise, sometimes you might have your day at sea might be next, or you might head on over to Castaway Cay. For me, next was for day 3 was my day at sea. So we'll get into that a little bit later. So yeah, a lot of people who have been to Nassau, it's not a lot of new things. So some people will take advantage of staying on the ship. For me, not having been to Atlantis, I wanted to go and check that out. So don't think because the boat gets to a port that you have to get off. Like this is, if you have a day where you're at Nassau, or maybe even if you go to Castaway Cay, maybe you are okay with staying on the ship. Those are great times to get to check out the water slides, things like that. So yeah. So again, don't forget to check me out. Follow me on all of these lovely social media things over here. You can follow me, hit me up, check out the website, and love to help you book your next trip. All right. Let's get into day 3, shall we? All right. Day 3 is my day at sea, which means no port. We're not stopping. We're just rolling, which is usually a pretty hectic day. A lot of people are going to be trying a lot of things, but they also offer a lot of things. So let's get into day 3 on the Disney Dream, shall we? All right. Here we go. All right. Here we go. Day 3 at sea. This means we are on the open ocean, if you're wondering. This means we're not going to stop on any ports. We're just going to be out here sailing. Day at sea means everyone is going to be trying to do things. So if you're an 18 or up, I would definitely spend a lot of time in those private areas. like Cove Cafe or the Senses Spa. So that's where I spent a lot of my time. I also decided to get a reservation. I booked this in advance, so always wise to do that at Remy. This is deck 11 in the back. Remy is the French focused style food. This is a one flat rate for the brunch, and I think their dinner is also one flat rate. So you can do that. This is the more expensive of the two. Palo does a one flat rate brunch, and then they also do a flat rate for dinner, but for also you can do a la carte. So those are your options when it comes to finer dining. There is a dress code at both of these dining options. Oh, I'm sorry, at Remy for sure. So like I had on shorts and my man tried to get me some pants out of a closet. I decided to go back and get my own pants. That was a piece of Wagyu. So they have definitely, when I say fine dining, I mean pretty fine. They keep them nice and small for you and everything. So get that nice fine dining feeling. And it was a really cool time. I hung out with one of my table 127 guys. So after that, headed to deck 4 midship. This is the D Lounge. On Disney Cruise, there is a ton of events. You will not be able to do every event that you want to do, but that's the cool thing, is that there's multiple events. So decided to go and do some trivia with my 127 folks. I think that was like Disney songs. And then this is on deck 3. This is in the atrium. This is a party with the captain. So that's why there's all these people lined up pretty early. And by captain, if you hadn't checked out one of my other days, remember the captain means Captain Mickey and Minnie. So that's what all of those people are waiting for. Decided to hop up to another deck, and then you can see, kind of look down. There's Mickey right there. And so kids are around and involved and trying to get pictures and all that fun stuff. There's Minnie over there on the steps. So really cool opportunity. You have plenty of opportunities to meet characters. Use the Disney Cruise Line app, and they actually will show you schedules of when each character is going to be, where they're going to be. So here in deck 4 in the aft, I'm at Evolution, which is one of the 18 and older spaces, and here for another trivia. If I'm not mistaken, this is like the 2000s trivia. So a lot of fun. As you can see, just having a good time with all the adults. So all of you who think, oh, Disney's just for kids, it's not. A lot of these people have been on multiple cruises. This is some of my table 127 people. Let me just tell you, we racked up. We actually won this trivia. Danny, that guy, I think him and Roxanne might have definitely won multiple trivia nights. So, trivia events. So, the ship is full of things for you to do. You can't do everything, but don't be afraid to use the Disney Cruise Line app. That is where you can find out the schedule. So, cool thing I loved about the Dream is, as you can see, we're leaving from all the way in the back of deck 4. This space back here is the 18 and up space. So there's nice seclusion. You don't have to worry about running into kids. Okay. So we all went to dinner after this. We're at deck 3 midship. Well, not right after this. We went to a show, but I can't record in the show. So after our show, we went to Royal Palace. This is kind of based on like all the Disney princesses, like a place they all share, kind of like a dorm for all of them, I guess. This was definitely the best inclusive in your cruise rate food. So definitely a place you don't want to miss. Here's some live music out in the atrium. Royal Palace is actually, the entrance is right behind that band. So there's multiple types of live music. It's not just, solo performers. They have full bands, things like that. So again, the atrium is 3 floors of just open space where you can just look down and see what's going on in the lobby. Usually right around on each of those floors is where you could see characters that would meet up. So great picture opportunities. So, again, running back to deck 4, this is the district is what they call that 18 and up space. So, as you can see, here's all the types of not restaurants, but venues there. Got Evolution, the district, Pink, is it 687? and I'll kind of show you some of those. So the District Lounge is like the first room. Here's the violinist again. So that's like one of the first rooms you run into. Every one of these places have bars where you can, purchase drinks a la carte. So you don't have to worry about again, Disney does not charge you for like a drink package. 687 is kind of it's a pub, so it's kind of like a sports bar-ish. This is probably the only place I saw live TVs. Lots of bar food, things like that. This was in March, so March Madness was going on, so plenty of TVs in there, you can watch it. They had board games over there in the corner, so you can just come and play board games. It's a really cool spot. There's a picture of the Dream being built. And like I said, sports, they have beer mugs, things like that. Another one of the rooms is pink, like the pink elephants from Dumbo. This was set up for the piano bar, so he was really good. This is a champagne lounge, is how they kind of clarify it or identify it, I guess. And so plenty of, champagne, things like that. People just chilling, hanging out. And the last spot is the Skyline Lounge. This is where you can see skylines from all over the world in like a modern hip bar. Of course, Chicago was in there, my hometown. So, and they have drinks that are for that city. So that's Skyline. So drinks that you can just get, and that'll give you a little bit of that Chicago feel or that New York feel or that Paris feel. So day 3, pretty for me, just kind of bouncing all over the place, just checking out places. I mentioned Senses Spa, which is an add-on. Again, one of my, tips to new first-time cruisers: always purchase things before you get on the ship, because the prices skyrocket when you are on a cruise and you want to buy something on the ship. Even if you don't know if you're going to use it, honestly, I would do it. Senses Spa, you can do daily. You don't have to do the whole trip like I did. So every time I went to Senses Spa on this day, it was super crowded. Every other day, not crowded. But day at sea, this is when the cast members kind of are, promoting it a little bit more. They're promoting opportunities, for you to spend money. People are getting haircuts and getting manicures, pedicures. And so then they promote the spa and the rainforest area. So that was super crowded, a lot on that day at sea. For me, this was actually the first time I actually spent time back in that 18 and older space, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was super secluded, which is different than the Disney Wish that I've been on. I feel like everything was kind of mixed in with each other. Like you could be in an 18 and older space, and then as soon as you walk out the door, there's a kid running past you, or there's kids screaming, or whatever the case may be. The kids are right there, right outside that space. So I liked how there was some seclusion. So you don't, obviously there's always going to be kids who want to push the envelope a little bit, and so they're going to want to try to go into those places that they're not supposed to go into. So I did not see a single child while I was back there. So I really enjoyed doing that. I enjoyed that part of it. So we only have one more day, which is sad. But day 4 is when we actually go to Castaway Cay, the private island. So we're going to get into day 4 right now. All right, here we go. Day 4. All right, here we are. Day 4 at Castaway Cay. This is Disney's private island. Okay, so it is a private island. So this will only be Disney cruise ships there. Pretty sure this is a shot from my room balcony, or veranda. I would definitely encourage you, if you're into the space, I would definitely go to a veranda. Now I think I'm either at Senses or walking around here. So that's one of the little kiddie pools. This is deck 11, just in case you're wondering. So on the opposite side is the pool deck and all that. On this pool deck, they do show Disney movies. And they have that in the app. You also get to see, movies that are going to be released that weekend if you're on the ship. That was a big thing, was the cinnamon toast, Mickey French toast. So that was a big deal. A lot of people are geeked about that. If you're ever wondering, can I do laundry on the ship? Yes, you can. It is basically on every floor that is a floor dedicated to majority staterooms. So there's me and some of my 127 table mates walking and run into characters. Now, if you haven't seen a character walking, look like they're going somewhere, they will not stop. They are told to continue walking. So make sure you, don't try to stop them, grab them. They're not going to be rude, but they are going to stay in motion. You also see, as you can see right there, just picture opportunities. That's a great shot. You would, get the boat in the background. Again, another pointer that I mentioned once before, if it's not busy, and at the time, I don't think I knew this, but maybe I did. But you can actually give them your phone and they'll take the picture. So it would have been like that, but much better. So there's an option to walk, which is what we chose to do, or hop on a tram. And you're actually going to see a video of one of the trams rolling through. So as we're walking to Castaway Cay, as you can see, man, beautiful place. The water, my goodness. There's one of the trams right there. So they're pretty long and they are always rotating. So welcome to Castaway Cay. This is a man-made beach, but that is ocean water. So I forgot that the first time I got in there. So once you get down here, I don't even think we've actually got to one of the stops yet, as far as like where the tram would be. I think that's around the corner here. But plenty of shops. You can use your room key, your stateroom key here. So basically, you would be charging your room. So all of the food is included in this. But if you wanted to purchase like a Castaway Cay item, like I actually bought a 5K Christmas ornament. Did not run a 5K, but I bought the ornament. So this side of the island closest to the ship is where the family beaches are. So this is where if you're here and you want to hang out with the kids, you can do that. This is the place. It's a huge family beach. There's two sections. That's where you can also do your snorkeling, things like that. We decided to get on the tram at a different stop. This is the tram to Serenity Bay, which is the 18 and older space. And as I mentioned, this is a free space. So you don't have to pay extra like you would on some other cruise lines to get to an 18 and older space. So when you think Disney's a little more expensive, they cover a lot of stuff in that extra price. So as you can see, had fun. I think I remember this was saltwater there. And then this is Hangar 98 barbecue. This is on the Serenity Bay side. So it is still 18 and older. And fun fact, this is the only place where you can get steak. So on the family side, they have Cookies and Cookies 2. Those are great places, great barbecue, but they do not have the steak. So you want to go, if you want steak and you're 18 and older, you want to go over there to Serenity Bay. So I know it seems like fast, but we spent a lot of time there, and now we're headed back to the ship. But your boy likes to snorkel, so I'm actually gonna detour and go snorkeling. The snorkeling spot, again, you can rent your own. You can rent gear from them, or you can bring your own. So I'm at Snorkeling Lagoon now. I couldn't bring my own this time. I did buy some for my last cruise, but I couldn't find it. So here's some shots of me snorkeling. It's a really cool thing. You get to see, like, there's Disney memorabilia down there, so it looks really cool just to have the gear on and be able to go do that. Life vests are mandatory, so if you want to do this and you bring your own gear, don't think they will let you in without a life jacket. So life jackets are mandatory. There's one of the Dumbo rides from the theme parks, which is cool. This little guy literally swam right at me. I was like, okay, don't panic. It's cool. So that was a really cool thing to do that. Give you little flippers and everything. And on Castaway Cay, there's plenty of space. They have kiddie areas. So like for your, toddlers and younger age, spaces for them to play. The teen areas and all of them, they actually have areas just for teenagers, for preteens and everything. So as I'm on the tram headed back to the ship, don't forget that, man, you can get on one of these at any time. So don't be afraid to hit me up on my socials so we can make this happen for you. So finally got back on the ship and headed, looks like the elevator. Man, this is so cool. So if you're in, I think the closest two elevators to the front of the ship, they have these little like characters. So it looks like you're flying up or floating up with Disney characters that fly. Like there's Nana from Peter and the Pan. You got Iago and at the top, of course, Mickey and Minnie right there. So I love that. I think I have a few more of those. So after I got back, I decided to go to the spa. Less crowded this time because, again, it's not a day at sea. So a lot of people are on Castaway Cay, so they're out there hanging out. So that first one was a shot from the ledge. That's an open space, so it's really cool. All right, and this is my final dinner spot. This is Animator's Palette. This is on deck 3 in the aft. This is a interactive dinner with Crush. Actually, I think there's 2 different shows. So there's either Crush or you will actually draw while you're there. But we got the Crush show, so there's interaction. So the Crush talks to tables and hangs out with them and interacts with them, asks them where they're from and all of that stuff. So it's really cool. Food was really good here. That I think it was like a salmon tartare that you just saw. That one was really good. This is a shot after everyone has left, so I just wanted to get a shot of that. And I didn't walk in this way. There's 2 entrances, 2 ways you can get in, so I didn't see all these renderings and these drawings. So hence Animator's Palette. So cool thing. So yeah, as you head out, you'll run into these drawings of some Disney princesses. And I think it's kind of cool. As you head out towards that, you'll run into Royal Palace, which was the dining from last night. Well, I decided to put day 5 here, Disembarkation Day. Angry Mickey, of course. Some advice, man, depending on the floor you're on, elevators will be super packed, super crowded. Disney does offer a way for you to carry your own luggage off, which a lot of people did choose to do, or you can have them pick up your luggage the night before. So your room attendant will leave you a little note saying, hey, this is the process. They'll leave you a little suitcase tag, and you can leave it right at the door, and then they will take it down, kind of like they did when you first get on the ship. This is everyone except for one of table 127, because one of them, she had to leave early to catch a flight. So this is me leaving the ship. A little sad, not a little sad, very sad. And back at the port here in Fort Lauderdale. This is my first time. Usually on all of my cruises, I usually carry my own stuff off, but I just wanted to give it a try to see what it was like, how the process went. They give you a timing of when they call you. Same way that you got on, they call you by your number, but as you get off, they call you by your book bag, your suitcase, luggage tag. So see you real soon. I hope so, Disney. Man, I hope so. So when you're going through Disney, that again, just kind of talk about the getting off the ship. Luggage tag, you make sure they give you a time to put your bag out in the lot in your hallway before. So like the day before, the night before, about 10 o'clock, I think is the deadline. Now for me, I wasn't sure how I was going to do it, and I actually called a little past the deadline and put it out, and they still came in and grabbed my bag. So if you're worried about the deadline, obviously do your best to meet the deadline, but don't freak out if you miss it, because they love helping you, love making your vacation great. So they will give you an opportunity to, maybe they'll give you that opportunity to grab your bag later. So and then once I got off, we had breakfast. That picture with my table 127, you always have breakfast the last place you had dinner. Breakfast is super quick, super fast. they're trying to get ready to turn over for the next cruise. It usually starts that afternoon. So they are very intentional about trying to get you off the ship. So don't think, oh, I'm going to go to the pool and chill because my flight's not till 4 like mine. Nah, they trying to get you off that boat as soon as possible. So make sure you do that. So plan accordingly. Get off as soon as you can. Go to breakfast, enjoy your last free meal, and then head on off. They will call you based on your dog tag, so don't think you can get in the line right away. You could, but your bag won't be there. So they let you know once your bag is there that, hey, I can do that. So one thing I did want to touch on is gratuity. This is always an interesting topic especially for first-time cruisers, or trying to understand how gratuity works. When you book a cruise, usually cruise lines give you a suggested gratuity amount, whether it's and that's based on the type of room that you have. So I can't remember the number for mine, but usually like a flat rate per day per person. So I went by myself. I was a solo traveler, so I only had to pay for, that's what the price was, just for one. Now, again, that is an optional and a suggested rate. As a travel advisor, as just a person who enjoys and enjoy the services of the people on the ship, I highly recommend you not only leave that suggested gratuity, but also give them something extra. I always do for my room attendant. And when you, as I mentioned, Disney, you travel with the same wait staff at all 3 venues, so they also give you an opportunity to tip those people extra as well. So that flat rate that they try to include or encourage you to include in your cruise purchase, that rate is supposed to be for behind the scenes people, and for it covers a lot of people, and it's not that much if you think of the amount of people that they mention, like behind the scenes people who are taking care of the ship. When you talk about your room attendant, when you talk about dining, all these other things that are included in that. So I would definitely, again, it's not that much as if you look at it. If you've ever worked in service, tipping is huge because they usually aren't. You usually aren't making that much money to start, and that is the case for these people on the ship. So when you go above and beyond, that is the only way to ensure that, for instance, your wait staff or your room attendant, that's the only way to ensure that they actually get a tip. That money that's included in the cruise, it is important. People do receive that money, but to ensure the person that cared for you directly, that you want to appreciate, I highly suggest they give you envelopes in advance. They give you envelopes on the night before, so they give you opportunity to do it. So don't feel like you got to work extra to make it happen. There's envelopes, and you can leave things. Some people, I know people who bring cards in advance and are ready to write cards for them, things like that. And cash is the only way to do this, so make sure you bring cash. That's another pointer that I love to tell first-time cruisers, is to always bring some cash for cases like this, for gratuities, or if you're on a port and you want to get a ride somewhere quickly. Usually cash is the cheapest route. When you start having cards, there's all type of percentages and add-ons that could happen when it comes to being international as well. So, or just, not on, central, the continental US. So yeah, I think, man, I would definitely encourage you to keep the gratuity on there. So, well, that is the end of my run through from my Disney cruise on the Disney Dream. Again, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully you stuck around and watched all of it. I hope it was super helpful for you. If it is, make sure you follow, make sure you subscribe here on YouTube so you can find out more and keep track of all the other cruises and reviews I'm going to be leaving. Also, hit me up on social media right here. Hit me up on Facebook, Instagram, and on TikTok. I'm also, I have a website right now. I'm kind of working on revamping it, but as of today, right now, I would definitely check out the website here, theklmexperience.com. Just a way for you to find out, not only, as I mentioned, I'm a travel advisor, but I also am a musician, so I like, entertainment. So maybe you could use some entertainment. So that's a way you can find out that information as well. Once again, I'm Linnell with AMuseing Travel. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making it. And keep checking me out, keep following, and make sure that you can watch all my other videos. Make sure you like, subscribe them, so it gives me an opportunity to do more of these. All right. Thanks again, everybody. Have a good day. See ya.